All right, there we are recording that and continuing where we left off, or where I left off with. Okay, it's much easier when you've got this sort of a plan, but the point is we're doing proofs of um, of that mental reality exists from common sense. However, it needs to be a science, and unlike other sciences, psychology is secondhand. So here's regular science. Um, okay, remember this is like a map, and these are all like a museum. Let me get over to the other one, and here's another one. It's the same thing. The brain is in here, but it's basically and you look at things, and that's how you know that it's true. But you cannot just look at a person's mind. Um, it needs to be told to you, and ultimately, the what do you call them, professor or something, you you have to trust them to some extent. However, with mental reality, there's 2 or 3 easy proofs that, more than that, I'm sure, that just prove that like everybody has a mind. The first one is the errors. Right. And then the other one is dreams, not like errors, but similar. Some of the same, it's the same mind working the same way. But whereas the errors, you can point it out to somebody really quickly, and you point it out, and then they say, "Oh yeah, that's right. I need a giant spoon." And they're like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely what I was trying to say. I was trying to like give some presentation on something or whatever," and then they accidentally say, "And this is the end of my presentation," when they're supposed to say something else, and then you're like, "Oh, that's because you actually meant that you were trying to say you really want this thing to be done." So that's the alien thought that comes in. Is this even recording? I'm using a different program to so the point being, oh, there's the question mark. Yeah, so that's the question mark. There is what I don't know. What is there a question mark there? No, that's really got me going there. Okay, so dreams, though, that's another good proof, and I think it's the most elegant of the proofs of mental reality. What even am I going to make? Chocolate chip. This is so quick and so easy. I'm telling you. Once you hear it, just like Freud says, it's just common sense, and so that's the best proof that. What is this? Something with there's some basic facts about dreams. One of the facts is that you withdrew from the world, and also there was something you remembered. So there's 2 facts about dreams, and a scientist will come along and say, well, okay, how do you really know anything? Okay, so good place to start about like dreams. What makes them interesting is that there's something mental to them. So the mental content is what is really interesting, and you can see that most clearly with the daydream. There's a fantasy element to it, and then there's also the this part always takes me forever. But obviously, there has to be some science behind it. And so this person came along and maybe his body position, this was like late 1800s. this free app has ads, so it's like flash ad. Sorry, right in the middle. And he came up with that idea, and actually there was some proof to that it did affect people's dreams. He would put them in these other positions, and an alarm clock that also affects the dream. And then so these are basic physiological things that affect the dream. There's spicy food that they're an easy one, like a mental process that may be occurring is that you're digesting and you go to sleep right after eating something awful, and then so this looks really bad because it's sort of cold in here and I cannot get it like the right consistent. I don't really know why actually, but maybe there's something wrong with these eggs. I'm not going to go into it. I don't know what I'm even saying. Oh yeah, the free association is how you get some sense out of it. You have your dream element, and the interesting part is not the dream element. I'm going to turn on the oven. Although eventually he does go into something about like symbolic something of the dreams, but that's not so critical. What's going on here is that it has something to do with the patient. It isn't like, oh, it's already one open. This is where the idea of free association comes up. They say like, I was thinking about a train in my dream. Oh my gosh, trains. I was anything other than that. I was thinking about a teacup in my dream, and then the psychologist says, "Oh yeah, what does that make you think of?" The first thing that they say is actually what they want to know about, or that's the loci. So here's the solar system. Dumb example, but locus of associations with the dream element. So they'll say, I was just thinking of like an old man or something, teacup. There you go. I guess that if I had theoretically been dreaming about a teacup, that would be crazy. Dreaming about a dream. Oh, okay. I guess that's it. So yeah, then I'm gonna put this in here. Well, didn't I have something else to say about dreams, and how does it prove that? Uh-oh. So I don't know if this is going to be any good. This is a good time to try something out. Okay. So he recommends keeping a dream journal. So maybe I could go get my dream journal. No, I actually had a dream last night, and oh yeah, I remember. I was think of just one element of this dream. I was at a table, and people were trying to get me to use a straw. Okay, so the dream element to take the DNA from the straw. They were like undercover FBI agents. And I refused the straw, but I made it seem like I took a drink. Everybody was doing the whole thing, and at any rate, I was in the dream, and I did not. But the point being that the dream element is not so important. Usually, it's for the previous day. Like, so for example, I heard some news about some petty garbage. They're trying to make like culture wars against climate change is so bad, and I hate paper straws, and I hate straws in general. Wow. So maybe, at any rate, free interpreting, you kind of learn something about yourself, and it's common sense. That's right, because once you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, that's right, that totally makes sense. And oftentimes there's a little bit of resistance. In this case, there definitely was, because I did not want to talk about the culture wars and anti-climate change. You have to be kidding me. So I'm going to press pause, and then we'll get this done. Oh, the primary point of the talking about dreams and the resistance that occurs when you're doing free association with them, and the whole free association actually, and even the errors as well. The fact that there's more than one process going on, and that one of them wants this and one of them wants that, goes to show that there's more than one part of the mind that are one is interfering and one's the other one. And so the idea is that once you start to do that, once you start to reassociate and find these resistances and everything, what you're actually doing there is you're exploring what was unconscious, and then making it conscious. So that's where those ideas come from. At any rate, this is kind of boring, but it's a good proof of what does. Here, let me show you what I'm doing here. Well, actually, I'll do that after. Fill this plate up. So, yeah, really not much to say about it. It's a pretty big proof. Oh, but the point is that even though you have more than one thing going on, so it's kind of hard to think right now. Even though you're this is going to take forever. So yeah, because it was all cold, so I'm going to do that later. But the interesting part is that there's latent ideas, and then there's your conscious latent dream ideas, and then people often do like they think that the whole dream means something, but it doesn't. What really matters is this, what Freud calls the dream work,